be the end. Nobody's knowing if strong winds will be blowing back in the cone again. June to November, long as I can remember, never knowing when. If it'll come too close or just skirt the coast, back in the cone again. Trying to pass the time, waiting in FEMA lines, might see the president. Short temper's getting hot, no brakes, can't lose my spot, back in the cone again. June to November, long as I can remember, never knowing when. If it'll come too close or just skirt the coast, back in the cone again. Some Milton nights, will the nightmare ever end? Drive to the station fast to get the last drop of gas, back in the cone again. Back in the cone, might lose my home, don't wanna end up in misery. Got the new advisory, can it be? Oh no, the cone is pointing at me. June and November, long as I can remember, never knowing when. If it'll come too close or just skirt the coast, back in the cone again. June and November, long as I can remember, never knowing when. If it'll come too close or just skirt the coast, back in the cone again. Back in the cone again.
All right, here we are. An unexpected live and our roll down curtain. Cool. You know, I was reading all your comments. You guys are great. Oh my God, I love them. Everything from, hey, let's not meet again. You guys are the best. Hey, the new songs, Gail, I had requests. This is like DJ hour. This is like, we're not only going to do Hurricane Talk, it's going to be DJ Mike. I'm going to play Hurricane songs. We got 4 of them now. So it's not going to be a very long show. It'll be, maybe we'll do a song a shot. All right, so we're going to do a quick update. Definitely do a long one in the morning. This will be about 15 minutes. I'll try to read some comments. We're looking at PTC number 9. I'll go into what that means. And, we got a cone. We got a cone again, right? We got a cone. But nothing to worry about. No reason to panic right now. And I'll tell you why. So, first and foremost, thanks to you guys, all the new supporters. Holy cow, we're over 800,000 people now. Crazy. Of course, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Ever since we announced ABC Fine Wine and Spirits as a sponsor, all these storms seem like they're heading towards Florida now all of a sudden. And then they stop, and then they go right along the East Coast. And this one's got that potential. So here we go. What's cooking? And again, I have to do my disclaimer. I'm just a hobbyist, media-ologist. Say that 10 times fast. I am a 9th grade dropout high school student that just learned to read last week. And I share scary isobars. All right, so here's what's going on. I added the Florida radar real quick. Oh, too many requests. Look at that. They're going to hate me. Noah's got mad at me during Dorian because their server couldn't hold up to our demand. I'm like, come on, you're the government. Get a bigger server. I paid GoDaddy a lot of money for a server. You can do it. Telling me I can't pull their images because of their server, but we got through it. All right, so here you go. Here's a good look. Lots of rain coming in off the East Coast. This is all tied together with PTC9. So there's the live look. I got that on the website. Here's the official look of what's really going on. We got 2 things cooking. Here it is. Here's the official cone. And what is a PTC? All right, so a PTC is a potential tropical cyclone. That means years ago, the Hurricane Center couldn't issue watches and warnings until there was an actual system. So this is something cool that they can do now to initiate watches and warnings before a system begins. And as you can see, we already have tropical storm warnings for a large portion of the Bahamas, unfortunately for them. Luckily, winds are low, tropical storm force. But this is it. This is your 3-day cone, tropical storm, possibly landfall in Florida on Saturday, okay? Nothing huge, nothing to worry about. Winds 50 miles an hour was the last estimate. We're going to get a new update really soon, but the latest 5 o'clock advisory, winds at 50. So it'll cause some trouble on the beaches again. You know, nothing serious. I wanted to show you some models and maps, but let's take a look at latest spaghetti models, and then we'll look at some individual runs. This is on Tropical Tidbits. These are your 00Z overnight runs. They just came in. You can see a general northwest motion, and then whammo, it hits a brick wall and cuts hard right into the Atlantic. Now, the NHC is stressing this is a very tricky forecast. The center is not defined, so I would not get too concerned right now with anything because it's a very sloppy system, okay? And I'll show you that since I'm on the sloppy system side. We look at the shear map. Okay, this is one thing I was looking at before we went live. It's hard to see right here. I know it's hard, but right down here where the green is, this is where PTC9 is. And there's a lot of shear and a lot of winds coming from the southwest. Lots of shear ahead. It's got a lot of shear ahead. I know I said that, but conditions do not look very favorable in the short term. There's a shear map. So two things right there that's working against it. If you look at of course I closed it. No, I didn't. All right, so if you look back at this as the weathernerds.org, it's a great place you could play with the satellite. You can see a lot of these cloud tops are getting shoved from the southwest to the northeast. That's because the shear that we just saw is pushing the storm. And even though the center is trying to get going right here where this heaviest convection is, we're still getting a lot of shear. That's good news. That means it's at least not organizing quite yet. Not to say it won't once it passes all this shear, but in the short term, doesn't look like it's trying, it's got a chance. If you look at the wind maps, it looks, you can see right here where it's trying to close off a low level low somewhere right around here. You can see that it's still elongated, pretty hefty duty, so not showing much structure, no spinach. So that's the point I wanted to make. In the short term, nothing to like stress about, which is good. Who's to say in a couple days it can be on the other side of shear, but at least looking at things right now. Here are your models. Let's go ahead and look at these. At the same time, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this system, make it 2 for 1. This is BOGO night in the tropics. You get 2 tropical things to talk about. Here is the second wave we've been talking about a lot. This little guy was off of Africa. Now it's getting in the middle Atlantic. Still expected to, look at that. Boy, does that mess with you? Look at that. Plop, 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 plop. It's like that walkable game, trying to hit it. All right, try to get it. Boop, now you get it. Now you get it. Boop, doop, doop. General motion toward the Lesser Antilles. If you're living in the islands, your timing is this weekend. The system could be approaching the islands. It's a fast-moving system. This weekend, it might be on the other side. Actually, yeah, maybe. What today's Thursday? Yeah, I guess it still could be. It's a fast-moving system, no doubt. Does it tell you how fast it's moving? It says quickly westward. Doesn't tell you the speed. Very limited disorgan. There it goes again. Whack-a-mole. But yeah, it's going to be there. It's moving very fast. And what's really interesting is I teased this on Twitter last night. When our system here was supposed to be more upper Gulf, this system looked like it was catching up behind it. And it appears, if you watch the Euro and the CMC, wherever this PTC9 goes, this system is going to follow it. And that's the trend I wanted to show. So islands this weekend, we're going to be watching for development early in the week right here. So we're going to go back to the models. We'll go to Tropical Tidbits. Take a look. Here's the latest and greatest. We can look at what we got cooking. See what this little guy is going to do. Here it is. Here is going in tomorrow. This is Saturday morning, nearing Florida, nearing Freeport. Starts to deepen at 999. This is Sunday. Here's our blue showing up. This is our weak wave. Here is Monday morning. Tuesday morning, there's our new system trying to get going. Deepening hurricane, European model. Big high pressure to the north, and it pretty much kicks it back north again. So the Euro's been consistent with this thing wanting to go back up into the East Coast, possibly. Just want to point that out. The other system, following behind. Here it is. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. Good sign. This one, unfortunately, could be another developing system for the Bahamas, moving fast away from the U.S. So that's what we're watching. Close to Florida, staying off the coast, but unfortunately, the Euro showing high pressure, blocking, like we saw with Dorian, puts it back up possibly into a landfall into the East Coast. The CMC is very similar, which I like the two at least showing similarities. Here you go, CMC, a little weaker across Florida, brings it up and stalls right over the Carolinas. Here's our next system, kind of following the same path, doing kind of the same thing. So you're getting the idea, the picture here, East Coast, second system follows it, opens the door. The only thing that the CMC is showing right here is a lot of rain. Now check this out. It's kind of hard to see right here because it's zoomed out on Tropical Tidbits, but they're predicting 20 inches plus in the Carolinas if the CMC model is correct. So we don't want this thing to sit and stall. We want it to curve off to the coast, but I needed to point that out. There's a possibility starting, Sunday, Monday. There's Sunday. This is Monday morning. You can start to see the rains. And let's see if we can get a little closer here. All right, so here we go. This is Monday morning. We're already starting to see big-time rain in South Carolina, big-time rain into Carolina. So this is one model of many, but that is a real possibility. This thing could sit and stall through next week. This is Wednesday, Thursday next week. So one scenario. The other scenario is the most oddball one of them all. The GFS is showing absolutely nothing with this system. And wouldn't it be funny if it was right? Because then everybody wouldn't even know what to do. Because it's really the only one. Let me try to get up the thing. All right, so here's what the GFS. GFS has a system cutting across the state of Florida like it did all along. Like it hasn't got the memo yet that things have changed. And there's the GFS. Weak low pressure, upper Gulf. This is Sunday. Been showing that for weeks. Here's our next system. Almost nothing. So that's what the GFS. The GFS is being the outlier, the stubborn one. So that's kind of what's going on, guys. I mean, I'm starting to feel a little panic. I'm starting to read a lot of message boards. People see that cone. They're worried. Here's your rainfall potential. Interesting map here. This is short term, not showing you down the road. This is probably the next couple days. Actually, do they tell you that? It says through Sunday. Okay, so that's why. That's why this thing isn't updating up here yet. So this is through Sunday. And as you can see, we've been talking about it. If the system stays more to the east, all the action stays to the east side, which means half of Florida could get nothing if the system tracks a little bit to the east. If the system's like the GFS goes through Florida, it's going to be spotty rains. I showed that this morning. So there's a chance you'll get nothing on most Central Florida South as far as heavy accumulation. It all depends on this track. If the track goes up in the Daytona Beach, St. Augustine area, most of that rain stays off the coast, and then we got to worry about what happens up in this area. This is only short-term rains, 3-day rains. Interesting little note there. Timing of tropical storm force winds. Friday night, we can start to see tropical storm force winds nearing Miami. This is tomorrow. This is the earliest reasonable time. And then Saturday, 8 a.m. So NHC is still predicting that we might see some watches and warnings tonight at 11 o'clock for U.S. Might see a watch go up. We'll see. There's an estimated center. The Hurricane Hunter is estimated to center right here. So there's that. Anything else I really wanted to show? On the maps, it's just a big blobby mess right now. There's really no structure, just a big blob. A big blob. And let me zoom in here. We'll just leave this up as I see what you guys are chatting about. So there you go. Quick. How about that for a nutshell? What's a nutshell? What's up, Whitney? You're always in there. What's going on, man? So yeah, Rainmaker. Listen, you know, some of the Euro runs showed if it stays over the Gulf Stream and it gets past this shear and it's got some sort of a core, then yes, this thing. The reason I was showing you the short-term forecast is now we're within a couple days before potential landfall into Florida. If this thing is supposed to go into Florida, it's going to have a short period of time to try to get organized. It's not organized right now. It's not like Dorian. It doesn't have a core. If it stays off the coast of Florida, I've seen enough models now to suggest that, hey, this thing could wrap up into something pretty big, 940, 50 millibar. If we look at the ensembles here on Weather Nerds, here's your 5-day ensembles. And you can kind of get a feeling here. This is what the Euro is showing in 5 days. If this system stays out over the Gulf Stream, green is basically 50 knots. So you're getting close to hurricane here with green, definitely yellow. So you see it. If it stays on the Gulf Stream, it's got the potential to ramp up. The UK was showing that. Let's see what the latest UK is. I think it's almost a copycat of Dorian and keeping it right off the East Coast, which is crazy. All right, so here's the latest UK model, and it keeps it right off the East Coast. I mean, if you didn't know any better, other than the strength, you would be saying this is Dorian because it's like Cape Canaveral. It's close, gets close to Charleston, and turns right before the Outer Banks. So 938, developing hurricane, no doubt. And there's that high pressure. This is the key. Okay, this is what's going on. We got. Here's your system going through Florida. High pressure here is going to start blocking it. High pressure builds in. Pretty big high pressure. Nowhere to go. The UK is saying this way. If you go to the Euro, this is the old Sandy thing that we showed years ago. Sandy blocking high. GFS said this way. Euro said this way. And it ended up going this way. These are the uncertainties. If you go to the Euro here, look at this. So here's the Euro. This is Wednesday next week. Euro 942, that's pretty strong. High pressure to the north, big yellow oranges indicates high pressure, and guess what? It kind of shoves it back up into the northeast skirting. So, you know, and it circles this high pressure. That's a legitimate possibility. And here's this little guy following along. Don't forget about me, mommy. All right, so that's it. I'm eating wings and beer here in a little bit, so. I saw enough people asking to go live, so I wanted to do a nutshell, a little quickie. So Bahamas, yes. Unfortunately for the Bahamas, they're getting a lot of rain. I think so far the Euro might be the best one to look at. So let's take a look at the Euro rainfall estimates for the next few days. And see. I don't know how we could zoom in the best for the Bahamas. Probably right here, Southwest Atlantic. Probably. Yes, we'll try that one. Southwest Atlantic, and we'll just do accumulated rain. They could deal with some rain, yes. It's the winds they don't want. It's gonna be hard to see. All right, so here you go. Here's a European rain map. Just misses where Dorian made landfall because it's going to be eastern weighted. But you can still have some pockets of 7-8 inches on Freeport. So yes, I mean there's some heavy accumulation possibly predicted for the Bahamas. Most of the heavy stuff stays off of Florida because the Euro is saying east, and then stalls out, and then heads back up in there. And then again, you know, we look at the Euro rains or the CMC rains. There's the stalling out right here over South Carolina. And if you really want to see the worst case scenario for rainfall, might as well show you. Let's go. The CMC, you can't zoom in on states, so we don't get to see that. But we saw 20 inches. All right, so there's that. You know, nothing to stress about. Here's our big blob. It's not organizing. That's the good news. It's got some lightning, yes. It's got a lot of shear. So the short term, I don't see any circulation happening. It's a big sloppy mess. There's a lot of shear ahead of it. It could clear the shear out in a day, possibly Saturday, maybe right around here, maybe get going. So short term, doesn't look like it's trying, but you never stop watching these little guys. The less time it develops now, the better it's going to be, at least for Florida and the Bahamas. Long term, we got to worry about it hanging out over the Gulf Stream, getting stuck underneath that high pressure system, and turning back into the East Coast. So shear, that's right. If I wore pantyhose, I would wear shear. Or that makes sense. Sloppy. I did say sloppy. Is that our bingo word? Cruise on Monday. It'll be gone. It'll be north of you. Razor losing. What the hell, Jason? You gotta be kidding me. When I started this, it was 1-0. What happened? You kidding me? It's a nightmare. What the hell? This ain't good. All right, what else is going on? Cold, yes, Whitney, there is some cold water left. That's good news. Yes. I mean, that could help slow things. Correct. That's your anomaly chart. So, yes, a little cooler water, hopefully. That's another good point, Whitney. Could help choke off any fast development. Good point. So we have shear, cooler water. But it's up here. It's in the Gulf Stream we got to worry about. Same place that Dorian came back alive. And then we'll see. If the GFS is right, comes across Florida, and it's big sloppy nothing, then it'll just be rain. So there you go. Let's leave this up. Here's your intensity models. They're always all over the place, but most of them predict this thing ramping up to at least minimal tropical storm, inch into Category 1 in 5 days. So, yes, Teresa, you don't want to see that. Maybe when I'm drunk. When I hit 1 million followers, that's what I'll do. I will dance the streets in sheer pantyhose. I might like them. Yes, I do, Kim. Check it out. Look at Mike's weather page right here in the very, 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 very top. Watch Mike's live videos on YouTube. And you click on that. And you know what? I got the name Mike's weather page. That's even cooler. So all you gotta do is search for Mike's weather page on YouTube, and guess what? You get to see my weather page videos. Keys on Saturday, I think it's all gonna stay to your north and your east, so I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, we're there, Whitney. And we'll go to ABC to celebrate. I'll run through the aisles with pantyhose on. That's because it's sheer. Sheer. Anyway, all right. So there's the radar. All right, cool. Yeah, I know we were going to be there quick, right? So, hey, Wendy, they were all right. So Dorian models. It seemed like once we got within about a 3-day window, the Euro ended up winning. This is tricky because the UK predicted this East Coast path like 2 days ago. I started pointing it out. And that's what I mean. Every storm is different. Every storm has a overachiever and an underachiever. And right now the GFS is sucking big time as far as the other models go. If it's right, then guess what? It's a winner chicken dinner. But all these models last night shifted eastward, and there's the NHC track. If you're wondering what that pink line is, that's the current track. And I have updated a bunch of links on my site now. You can go, and I have all the impacts pages. I hope they work. I don't even know. Yes, they do. There's look at that. Oh, cool. So it's a cool, no storm surge yet, threats. No flooding rain threats yet. No wind threats yet. So that's cool. Interactive NOAA Nowcast is another link that I found for Dorian. This one is really cool because you can look at everything. You can look at tide predictions. You can look at river forecasts. You can look at satellite. You can look at radar. You can look at everything. Everything. Look at this. That's cool. I got that on there. I don't have the wind one yet. Boat US. Bahama radar. Let's see what that looks like. There you go. There's your Bahama radar. It starts to come in here. So I'll put the boat US on there. All right, cool. All right, what's the next one? All right, the next one, Nancy, is just too far away to predict. Some of the models are saying nothing now. It doesn't look very good on satellite, but the NAC still has it at 40%. And I assume it's one of these little guys right here. Pretty low though. I don't know. Well, we can look at the NAC. We can see where they say it's at. I always like this because it shows you. So they're saying it's right here, 33 degrees and 13. So 33 and 13. And we would have to go here. Oh, you don't have it on here, so I don't think that's the ones, but anyway. So the one, seriously, so the one out there, right, as a bottom line right now, there's nothing to stress about, okay? There's really nothing too much to worry about. East coast of Florida for sure. 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm possibly coming. That can cause power outages for sure. We'll have, hopefully, all the trees that fell during Dorian have already fallen. We'll have some beach erosion. The big thing is this stall possibly happening and what it's going to do with rainfall. They're kind of showing this happening right here. So if this happens like up here, CMC model showing 20 inches of rain possibly. So that rain map is only through Sunday. It's not long term. So that's something that we could be seeing with this system. If it slows down and stops, we could have a pretty big heavy duty rain event somewhere here along the southeast. And yes, Jenna, great point. All right, another great video, tropicaltidbits.com. Levi has a great video tonight explaining everything right here on YouTube. Go to tropicaltidbits.com. And Crystal Ball, hey, I like cheese. Cheese? Kind of cheese. Sandy, well, Samantha, that's very interesting because this Euro is kind of showing that. I don't think anybody knows what this thing's going to do. I mean, it's not even anything right now. It could fall apart. Right now, there's no organization. So that's good news. But once it gets out here, we'll have to really watch it. So Florida, don't cancel plans. You could have no rain this weekend as far as heavy-duty concentrated rains. Southeast rains, yes, they're flowing in from the East Coast right now. Definitely. And I added that radar on the site. So that is a little, that's pretty hefty little rains coming in. I'm pretty surprised, actually, that we're seeing that all the way away. But they're dying out. These are just kind of afternoon, you can see they're dying out. But as far as, ruining people's plans, it's probably nothing more normal than you're used to. So, all right, we will. Yeah, Sandy was terrible. Yay for cheese! It's cheese. I like beer. Guess we have some Wisconsin fans out there. Any Packer fans? But anyway, that's the synopsis right now. There's really nobody knows. I mean, it's. I call it like I see it. Nobody knows what this thing's going to do. GFS is saying it's cutting through Florida. I mean, nobody knows. Right now, you just look at what it is, and right now is nothing. You just have to look at what it could be, and it depends on if it gets over that Gulf Stream. It could be something, and it could stall. So, yeah, cool. What's up, Melissa? Tristan, it could definitely stall. It could stall right off the Carolina coast and Georgia coast. Yes. So that's where we're at. We'll see what the overnight models do. We got a new update coming at 11. Very curious what the NHC says. Very curious. So watch for that. That'll be out in about an hour. And then for sure tune back in the morning and we'll have all kinds of new models to look at. So right now, hey man, just enjoy it. No spinach tonight, so you can eat chocolate. Cyclone. Hey Chrissy, I'm glad you said that. Cyclone, I hate that word because cyclone it's just an organized low pressure system basically, and it makes it very confusing because when you hear a tropical depression, it's technically a cyclone, and it sounds worse than it really is. And one thing that the NHC does with these circles is it's 40% that it'll develop into at least a tropical depression. So when they say potential tropical cyclone, it's not really a hurricane. They just classify any tropical entity as a cyclone. So a tropical depression is a cyclone, a tropical storm is a cyclone. And I trust me, I agree. I thought are you kidding me now? Don't tell me the Rays caught him. So I used to see the same thing with cyclone and get confused. How you shit me? The Rays are now caught up 5-4. Did you? I have to go watch them now. All right, hey, just thanks, Sammy. Listen, I wish I had more information. Listen, okay, but there's nothing right now, and I mean you can laugh or people, but there's just nothing. Nobody. This is the most craziest season as far as models go, and all the models have been wrong. The NAC's been wrong long term. I mean. All I see right now is a big blob of storms that, let me see if I can zoom in satellite right here. Just a big blob of storms that does not show any sort of circulation. It has heavy convection down here, but it's being sheared right now. You can see the convection right here. It's getting blown from, the shear is coming from the southwest to the northeast. So it's getting pounded right now with heavy shear. But that's basically where center's at. It's trying, but until this shear passes, it ain't going to be able to do anything. So right now, it just, doesn't have any spinach. Got to have spinach. Blob was one of our words. All right, there you go. My best guess, Alan? My best guess is it'll... Now, I got the NHC cone right earlier today, so it's stalled right now. That's the only thing that's weird. They said they said it was moving at 8 miles an hour at 5. Now they're saying it's stationary at 8 p.m. Steering currents. Let's see what they look like. Upper steering currents are usually only effective on organized systems. Here's that high pressure right here over top. So it's pretty. It doesn't have much. If you go by that, there's a blocking high pressure to the north, so I could see what the GFS is saying, a more of a Florida movement in the short term, but I don't know. I still think it'll clear the shear in a day and a half. I think it'll end up popping over the Gulf Stream and have a chance to ramp up. But I don't know. I don't have enough guts right now to call this thing. Maybe in the morning. So there you go. All right, that's the scoop. Don't worry, nothing to worry about, right? We'll when I get worried, I'll let you guys know. Right now, it's just a blob. So we'll do it again in the morning, 9:19. Melissa, right? Yeah. I wonder, let's look at steering currents real quick. So like GFS, even though it's not showing any development, there's that high pressure. See, that's why the GFS is, that high pressure we just saw, it's showing it's going to stick around. And GFS or Euro saying there's going to be a break in the high pressure and let it pull northward. So not much of a weakness. So I don't know. I think I see more of a west movement into Florida, and then an escape back out, and then a stall, the high pressure. But see, this is the problem with modeling. So the GFS is saying no high pressure right here, and the Euro is saying high pressure. So somebody's wrong. The CMC is saying high pressure. So All right, anyway. Pretty cool stuff, right? That's why we love the tropics, because nobody knows. So again, potential for a stalling system midweek for sure along the East Coast. That's a guaranteed possibility. And a tropical storm into Florida this weekend. Real possibility. Hurricane into Florida, very unlikely at this point. Hurricane farther north, could. There you go. And that would be midweek to the end of the week. All right, that's the latest. All right, hey, seriously, we'll do it in the morning. Love you guys, right? Current stall, Randy, no, there's way too much shear down there right now. It's getting blown apart by shear. There's no spinach, and so it would take a day or two for that shear to clear out. Hey, you guys playing bingo? Hey, you guys are playing. Cool. Have a great night. Thanks, Cindy. I'm gonna go get some wings. Cool, guaranteed possibility. There's a chance it might and a chance it could. How's that? And I drew my circle earlier. I showed my cone of uncertainty, right, on Twitter. Let's see if anybody liked it. I had 300. Look at this. This is my cone of uncertainty I posted this morning. There you go. There's the official forecast. Official forecast on Mike's webpage. All right. So, all right. Hey, we'll see you in the morning. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. That's something now I got to do before I go eat. So I'm going to upload to YouTube. See you guys in the morning. Watch for my updates. I'll post here in a few minutes when the new NAC comes out. Go to tropicaltidbits.com. Watch Levi's video. He explains things great without all these shenanigans. And we'll see what it does in the morning. Lots to watch, right? Cool. Nighty night. Don't eat all your hurricane snacks. Look, I'm officially out of M&Ms. I'm down to plain nuts. I'm freaking nuts. See ya.